Assalamualaikum to Sir Ismail. My name is NORASHIKIN binti Muhammad SHUKERI and I am from class JIM 2463C. For this individual assignments under PC Troubleshoots, the topic that I choose is BSOD code or blue screen of death code, stop memory error and out of memory error troubleshooting software fixes. So without going for further explanations, because I'm gonna explain it later through the conclusions, let's just see this tutorial first.
One day, you were thinking about upgrading your RAM or maybe a motherboard, so you went to online marketplace and start searching and found a good deal. So you get a good deal, you get home, and then install the new memory on the motherboard and everything looks good and set to go. But then, what's the point of upgrading your RAM if you're not going to multitasking, right? So, you open your computer, get a bunch of programs to maximize the memory usage, and to your surprise, your computer did not run smoothly and starts freezing. The application is becoming not responding and you get this error, system running out of memory. After a while you will start getting the BSOD or the blue screen of death with stop cut memory management. Now what caused this problem? Well, there could be many factors, and troubleshooting is the way to narrow the problems. Now, to disable overclocking on the memory, we have to enter to the BIOS by going to the Windows menu, okay? And we go to the settings, find the update and the security, and then we click on the advanced startup and press okay, restart now. So once we have done that, we go to the troubleshoot and we find the UEFI firmware setting, and from there we will restart your computer and you will go to your BIOS screen. Okay, now that we are in the BIOS screen, so we are going to check the XMP memory setting and disable any XMP profile. What is the XMP profile do is it's overclock your memory, so we're going to disable that to avoid any instability issues and then proceed. Okay, so before that I will explain why we should disable the XMP profile, because for example my processor currently using Ryzen 5200 and if you were to Google the information on the specific processor, it only supports up to 2900 megahertz of memory speeds. However, my motherboard have the XMP profile enabled and have the memory running at 3200 megahertz instead, so which is it's cool. So at this part we don't know anything yet, so we're just going to disable it first and going to run some memory testing. Alright, so to run in the memory test, all you need to do is to find memory diagnostic from the Windows startup. If you're in all Windows versions, or maybe not Windows 10, there's another way actually where you can actually enter it. So what you're going to do is open the command prompt and then type mdsched and it will open the memory diagnostic tool for you. This is like just in case you can't find on the Windows start menu, so you can go with this second method instead. Okay, alright, when you restart your computer after entering the mdsched from the command prompt, your window will start this way because it's going to start with your memory diagnostic tool. So we're going to have to wait for a while, and after the test is done, it will restart your computer automatically. Okay, wow, that really took a while. Okay, but anyway, we already finished the testing and restart the computer. And now you probably wondering where we can see the results. So it's pretty simple. Go to the Windows Startup menu, click the event viewer, okay, and from there find the Windows system log, and then just find the memory, like as you can see here, and it will display the result from the memory diagnostic tool. So here it said that detect no error and whatsoever, and what that means is that there is no any error that the Windows could detect from the RAM. But this doesn't mean that it's still free from the hardware issue. Maybe your RAM could be missing a pin or two. We don't know yet, but if you even go to replace your RAM or swap the memory slot or anything, we're going to do few other things before we get to see the results and checking the hardware itself. So let's go to the troubleshoot number 3. So in case you have done the first troubleshoot and then you try to relaunch your application and it's still crashing, there's a few other things that we can check and do. So we're going to check for the page filing where it's enabled or not, and if you start enable, we're going to enable it. So in order to go to page filing, you have to enter the Windows and then advanced system settings, and then go to the performance and virtual memory. So here you can either go with the system manage settings, or you can set your own custom value for it. Now what this will do is it will enable the page filing for the Windows, and how it works is that it swaps the memory to hard drive, and your hard drive acts as your secondary virtual memory for your system, so it will be connected with the RAM. Now because of that, we also going to be checking the hard drive for any errors, because since if you like enable the page filing, it's going to use your hard drive as the virtual memory so for a system. So we're going to make sure that the hard drive being used for page filing are free from any errors, because if there's any error or it's badly fragmented, it's going to cause some issues. So bear in mind to check it, and if everything is okay, so you can see there's no error, you're good to go. Now that we have done all these troubleshoots that we can, so we are going relaunch just some programs that cause us to crash in the first place. In the first place, like in the beginning, and I'm gonna try to hit the maximum memory usage, that which we failed to do before the troubleshoot. So let us get started with a field test, and let's see if it's fully stable now. So we have done some game program benchmark, and we even push it further by running the Prime 95 memory controller stress test. And as you can see, it is using almost all the resources available, and Prime 95 has been running for a while now without any crashes and whatsoever. So this shows that the systems are now completely stable. Now, if you look to further back when we first test Shadow of the Tomb Raider in the beginning where we crash, we are able to benchmark it as we crash when we are still loading it with the system notifying the out of memory error, which is it is obviously not true since my system have 16 GB of RAM and it has only utilized 11 GB with all of these programs running at the time, but then it will still crash. But after doing all the troubleshooting and with trial and errors, we have managed to get the system stable and get it to pass all the benchmarks. And look, my Prime 95 working flawlessly, and have also enabled the XMB profile, and even with that enabled, the system is still fully stable. So yeah, let's go straight to the conclusions.
Okay, so that's all the tutorial video from me. Right, let's just go to the straight to conclusions. So what I've been mentioned previously, okay, from the first video, alright, I mean at the beginning of the video, mostly people when they have a problem with their current RAM, okay, they would choose to go buy the brand new RAM, or sometimes they would prefer the second hand one, maybe because of the price is kind of more cheaper than the original. But I mean, especially when it's come to second hand brand, okay, you will not too sure if it is actually works or not. I mean, you cannot just simplify buy it and use it, okay, without do any test. I mean, from what I've been doing in my tutorial. Alright, so when your RAM, okay, I mean mostly people will use the 4, 6 or 8 gig of RAM. I mean, not so many people use above 12 of gigabyte RAM. So in this case, especially when this type of people, alright, that been using this 12 and above gig RAM, alright, so they this problem can happen actually, okay. So what they do is, if they buy that RAM, they make sure they have to they install it, they insert it, and they have to push it until the maximum until the error come up. Because if we did not do that, we didn't find any error, so we can assume that okay, maybe my RAM is still in a good condition, but at the same time many of problems still happen. Okay, so actually this is one of the solutions actually that you can do, okay, especially for this type of people that been using this kind of big RAM, okay, use this half of gig RAM. Okay, so especially I can say that when it happens to troubleshooting a problem, it is actually requires a various of try and error approach, okay, especially when the Windows fail to diagnose what the problem is, okay. And then what you can see from the tutorial troubleshoot number 2, which is the troubleshoot number 2, and also the XMP profile actually is not the major case in the situations, okay. And it is, even though any form of the overclocking is also known to cause this blue screen of death. Now that we already done all this troubleshooting, okay, I've been showed to you 3 type of these solutions that you can choose to troubleshoot this problem. So maybe sometimes if it's still persists to happens, it shows that maybe your RAM is problematic, okay. Either your RAM stick is missing a few pins maybe, or the memory controller is busted, so you have to try to figure it out, right? So if these things happened, it didn't work, why not you like try to swap the RAM stick itself, okay? And then yeah, you have to try to fix it, because of not you will not know actually what is the major problem for this whole situation. So what I can say, if you already done these 3 steps of troubleshooting but it still happens, so maybe your RAM is kind of problematic. So you try to swap. I can say your RAM maybe missing a few pins or anything, like try to swap the RAM stick to a different RAM slot if you have the unused, or you have the extra unused slot in the motherboard. So maybe it will help you for these situations. So basically that's all from me, the video tutorial from me, and thank you so much to everyone, to my friends, okay, to Sir that been helping me throughout this entire assignments. And yeah, that's all from me. Assalamualaikum.